Okay, we start inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala al-mab'uth rahmatan lil alameen. Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. If the sister have a problem with the audio, just please text your husband. Inshallah, I'll put it next to my mouth. Otherwise, it's like that, it's more comfortable. So we were talking about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then we talked about Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, and we talked about Umar radiallahu anhu after Abu Bakr. And Umar radiallahu anhu, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had a dream about him. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I had a dream yesterday. It's like I'm standing on a well, and on all days, that's how you get the water from the well, with the container, and you give to the people to drink. And obviously you get tired, this is very hard work, pulling buckets load of water. The Prophet ﷺ gave plenty of drink, then passed the bucket to Abu Bakr to do it. And he said Abu Bakr did it, but it was very quick, it was not long. But then Umar started to pull, and he says, I've never seen a genius like Umar. Just non-stop. It's not non-stop. So the Prophet ﷺ interpreted this as the richness and the power in the time of Umar for the Muslim Ummah. Abu Bakr will be 2 years, 2.5 years max, and then he passed away. And in his time, in Abu Bakr's time, was trying to establish Islam in Arabia. Because after the Prophet ﷺ passed away, alaykum salam, most of the Arab tribes, the far away from Mecca and Medina and Taif, on the borders, next to the Persian Empire or the Roman Empire, or in Yemen or the Red Sea, they revolted. They said the Prophet died. Some of them said we will make a prophet from our own tribe. So when the Prophet ﷺ passed away, they choose a poet or a famous person or a very charismatic person or a nice speaker, and he says, you become our prophet, we give you the zakah. And one of them says, because of this, Muhammad, he was Muslim, Muhammad made salah 5 times a day, I'll give you a gift, I'll make it 3 a day. No fajr and no isha for you, have a rest, sleep well. He made it 3. And some of them won't pay zakah, and some of them, so it was silly. So Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu declared war on those people. Literally, he had more than 25 armies going out to those tribes far and wide, bring them back into Islam as it is. Even though some of the Sahabah were confused. They say, you are fighting Muslim. They saying, La ilaha illallah. How you find this? He says, Wallahi, if they stop even giving the ropes that they tie the camel for the zakah with, I'll fight them for it. And he says, La yanqus ad-din wa ana hayy. This religion of Islam is complete. I will die as it is complete. I'm not going to die unless it is complete. It's not going to go down or less or reduced or change in my life. So Abu Bakr was so busy establishing this. But subhanAllah, this is a miracle itself. We think it is very bad, people revolting, people murtad, leave Islam. No. This was the training ground for the Khalid ibn al-Walīd. This is what made genius Khalid ibn al-Walīd and give the Muslim the training to face who? To face the Roman Empire, to face the Persian Empire. So for about 2.5 years, we non-stop, and fighting was horrendous. They're fighting each other, it's Arab. And one of them, his name is Musaylim al-Kadhab, Musaylim the liar. He had more than 40,000 in his army. 40,000 people fighting the Muslim. And Musaylima was genius, really, in poetry, in speech, in talent, in languages, in skills. So he was very respected, and he had so many followers. Not only that, he actually married a woman from another tribe, Sajah. She's also false prophet, and he combined the two forces to fight the Muslim. So imagine this, was a massive training ground for the Muslims. And the Muslim, of course, the Sahabah submitted those people and they became good Muslim and repented and joined the force of Islam. In the time of Umar, now it's all established, it's all peaceful. Now what he do? He follows externally. He wanted to give da'wah to the neighbor's country. And who is next door neighbor? The Persian Empire and the Roman Empire. And he start with the Persian Empire. Iraq, Iran, all these Istan countries, all the way to Eastern Europe, these are all Iran. Even down the Gulf to Yemen, this was all the Persian Empire. And Umar ibn al-Khattab radiallahu anhu started by somebody, his name al-Muthanna ibn Haritha. He was the Muslim army leader. Muthanna is from Iraq. And he was fighting on his own with a small army, the Persian Empire, just kind of, testing them. And then Umar ibn al-Khattab heard that the Persian are preparing 3 armies. An empire and preparing 3 armies. And the general of the army is the ruler of the country at the time. His name is Rustum. Rustum is not the emperor, is not Kisra, but he is actually the controller. Because at that time, they had a civil war and the royal family have killed each other. 18 of Kisra's children were killed. And only one grandson survived from the same blood. His name is Yazjadard. Yazjadard. This guy was sitting on the throne, but a young boy. Doesn't know anything about politics, doesn't know anything about army. So the general and the army were controlling the empire. And Rustum heard that the Muslim are on the border, the Muslim are in Basra, the Muslim are in Iraq, and he was convinced to go and fight, but was kind of hesitant, scared. He doesn't know. He fought the Roman, he fought, these superpowers. They know how they fight, but fighting the Arab is just new. He never fought them before. It took him 4 months to prepare the army. How big? 240,000. 240,000 made of 3 armies. 70,000 in the front, 100,000 the heart of the army, and 70,000 with him personally. Umar ibn al-Khattab, when he heard this, he went to Hajj. He announced to the people to volunteer, and he had maybe about 8,000 arrived in Medina with him. And he says, ready, steady, let's go. Himself is leading the army, marching out. He's going to fight the Persian Empire. And the Sahaba will cry. Says, what? You don't go and fight. If you were killed, that's it. It's the end of Islam. If you get killed outside with the Sahaba, that's it. Islam will finish. You stay and send somebody. Who does he send? Saʿd ibn Abī Waqqās. Of course, they had a mashura. They had a list of qualified people. They had all the name in front of them. All the name you can imagine. And they chose Saʿd ibn Abī Waqqās. Saʿd ibn Abī Waqqās is the first Muslim to throw an arrow in Islam. He is the Prophet ﷺ maternity uncle. He is one of the early Muslim. He is from the Ashara Mubashirin. He is Hafiz, he is Imam, he is a scholar. His CV is full. And Umar says, okay, agree. Saad, have a meeting. And he gives him the instruction. Subhanallah. How did they know this? How did they know the instruction, the strategy that Umar gives him was just incredible about how to fight and how to prepare the army and how to divide the army into small units, 10 maximum with a leader. Every 10 has a reef, a leader for them. And you have to fight not many wars. You just have all of you fight together. You have to stay on this side of the river so that you don't get surrounded by the Persian. You have to fulfill your promises to any village or any city you pass by. Don't betray anybody. And you have to feel all the advice he gave to Saad. Amazing. You can write a book about what Umar had given radiallahu anhu to Saʿd ibn Abī Waqqās. So Saʿd ibn Abī Waqqās goes and wait for the Persian army to arrive. Saʿd now have about 36,000 maximum. They're going to face 240, but 240,000 to come, it takes them, as I said, 4 months. So Saʿd ibn Abī Waqqās sent 10 people to go as a spy, behind enemy lines, to go and get information. 10 people with 2 Amir. The 2 Amir, one of them is called Tulayha al-Asdi. Tulayha al-Asdi, you will not believe it. After the Prophet ﷺ died, Tulayha pretended to be a prophet. He was one of those leaders of the tribe that was a false prophet. And then Umar, of course, Umar found out and he gave him a warning. He escaped. He ran away. He ran away to save his life. When he ran away, he actually realized, this is a grave sin, this is a mistake, what I did. And he actually repented by himself. And when he heard that the Muslims are fighting the Persian, he came, promised Umar that he is absolutely a good Muslim now, and he was, in Umar's side, this is an army by himself. Talha himself, in an army, he is stronger than the whole army. The bravery, the intelligence, the charisma, everything. With Talha, another one, his name, Ka'b ibn Ma'd Yakrib. This from Yemen. And the 2 of them, with the 10, they went behind the enemy line. Traveled inside Persia, and then the rumbling of the ground. There's an army on the move. And with the experience they can count. After a while, the army passed and said, this is 70,000. The 10 people, they say, this is the army of the Persia. This is too scary. Too many of them is twice the Muslim numbers. Talha and Ka'b says, no, this is not the army. This is only the head of the army. This is the front. We haven't seen the heart of the army because they're expert. There is still more to come. The 10 says, no, this is the army. We have to run quickly and warn Saʿd. They said, you go, we're not going to go back. We continue in the heart of Persia itself. So the 10 people gone back to Saʿd to warn him, while Ka'b and Tulayha continued on. And they saw the 100,000 as they expected. And they looked at each other and said, this is not the army, there's still more. We haven't seen the royal family's tents, the decoration, the horses, the blings that come with the leaders. This is not it. There still must be another group. And they were right. They arrived and they found another group and they counted them. They say this is another 70,000. They say that's it. This is the end of the army. We can see Rustum tent with all its flashlights and everything is there. That's them. That's the end. Let's go back and tell Saʿd. And guess what? Tulayha says no. We can't go back without attacking. What? The 2 of them, literally the Persians say these are not human beings. They say we're not fighting human beings. This is not human. This must be jinn. He said we're going to fight. He says fighting 70,000. He says yeah. We have to go and we can't see an army and walk back. We just do ghanima. We get some booties from them. He says you're crazy. He says just listen. Let's have a look. Night time fall. Everybody's going to the tent, setting their tents, fall asleep. And when they're all snoring, Ka'b went, Talha went, and with his sword he will cut the ropes of the tent so it collapse on those inside it. He cuts and he's just running with the horse, cutting it. And he's just causing chaos in the whole army. He arrived right at the end and did the same to Rustum's tent. And took some horses from the royal tent and ran back with it to Saʿd. This is who we're talking about. This is the Muslim that believed now that Islam is the truth, that nothing will stop them. As Umar says, the only thing you fear is your sin. If you don't sin, you're going to win. And he says if you win, and I know you're going to win, he says, Umar is telling them, before leaving in his speech, you will win. Because you don't understand their language, because you don't understand their culture, because you don't understand their gestures, any signal that they will understand, the soldier on the other side understand that you're giving them aman, you're giving them safety, and they come to your side, honor that. Even if you didn't mean it. Even if he didn't mean to promise them safety and they crossed over to you surrendering, you have to honor it and give them safety. Don't touch them, don't kill them, don't hurt them. Subhanallah. So anyway, they gone back to Saʿd, and Saʿd, when he heard the numbers, he says, this is big. He has to ask for help. So he sent to Umar ibn al-Khattab, I need more help. Umar ibn al-Khattab, where is Khalid ibn al-Walīd? He's in Sham. He's fighting the Roman Empire. He's taken Jerusalem. He's going to take Syria and Lebanon and Jordan. These are also hot cake now. So he asked Khalid to send, not Khalid, of course, it was Ubayd ibn al-Jarrah, because he removed Khalid, in Sham, to send some help to Iraq. So he sent somebody that every one of us need to learn about. His name is al-Qa'qāʿ. Can you say that? al-Qa'qāʿ ibn ʿamr al-Tamīmī, al-Qa'qāʿ ibn ʿamr al-Tamīmī. This is a man that can travel for 2 weeks in the desert without sleep and arrive at the battlefield and fight. He and Zubair ibn al-Awwam and Khalid ibn al-Walīd, they're commandos. They will have ropes and climb up into the fortress and open the door. In every country they went into. In every country, this 3 name is just incredible. Most amazing name. So, Al-Qa'qāʿ was sent. Saʿd ibn Abī Waqqās radiallahu anhu, he sent now messengers. Subhanallah, this is Islam. We don't just fight. We don't want to fight. We never wanted to fight. Muslim never wanted to fight. So he sent messengers, group scholars from the Muslim to Al-Madain, to the capital of the Persian Empire, to meet Yazdadar, the emperor, to talk to him about Islam, to talk to him about why there is a Muslim army at the border, to convince him that, look, you have options. So they went and talked to him, and these are the leaders of the tribe. These are the most honored people. Umar ibn al-Khattab says that I will send the leaders of the Arab to convince the leader of the Ajam. So they went to the royal palace, and they were talking to him about Islam, talking about the Prophet ﷺ, and that the Arab, yes, before that they had no country, no unity, no rules, no constitution, no government, nothing. But now they are organized and they have the most beautiful religion that respect for everybody, that give peace and security and safety. And of course, through interpreter, the emperor is a young boy, very arrogant, full of, no wisdom, but full of maybe energy, maybe jealousy, maybe zeal, whatever it is. And he says to them, I'm going to kill you all. I'm going to bury you all in our land. You either leave or that's your end. So the Sahabah says, look, we're still going to repeat, if you become Muslim, if you accept Islam, we have nothing to do with your country, we will leave you to rule your own country. If you don't accept Islam, you give the jizya, you pay the cost, and we will protect you and protect your country. Or the third option, if you reject, there's nothing but the sword. Have to fight to establish fair and justice in the land. He commanded somebody through an interpreter to bring dirt from the land, dirt, sand, dirt, and put them in their head. A sign of humiliation, sign of disrespect. The leader of the Muslim army made takbir. He says, Allahu Akbar, this is the sign. He's giving us his land. He's giving us his land. This is his land, he's giving it to us. We will make you a slave tomorrow, he says to him. This Arab Sahabi. And they walked to Saʿd and they told him the whole story. So Saʿd says, okay, send another one to Rustum. Now he already did what he can with the emperor. He sent someone to Rustum. Rustum is the general of the army, the leader of the army. Who did he send? Rib'i ibn Āmir. This is a very funny story. Rib'i maybe was the poorest of the army soldier. He's wearing very cheap clothes. He have a very poor, cheap sword. He doesn't even have a handle for the sword. He's wrapping a cloth around it. So Rustum, when he heard this, he says to his entourage, I want you to really, really brainwash this guy. You just put diamonds and gold and silk everywhere. I want women, I want music, I want light, I want something that he have never seen in his life. So when he come here, he will be blinded. He won't be able to talk. And we can give the condition. So Rib'i radiallahu anhu travel in his horse, and he goes, he arrive near the big compound of Rustum, and the guards stop him. Get off. He says, no, I don't get off. I will ride all the way till I meet him. The first thing. You can't ride inside here. This is like the royal palace. He says, I'll go back. I'll go back. You want me? I don't want you. We are the attacking force, not you. Hold on. They went, get some permission. He says, let them in. Let him in. And Rib'i goes in on his horse all the way to the tent where Rustum is. Gets off, all the silk and all this pillow and all this cushion, and he rips one of them, tie the horse with it, as if he doesn't see this is gold and silk. He just tied it as these rags. Tied in, and he walks in where the room of Rustum is. Where Rustum is, they say this guy is not going to bow down to us, because normally they go, they will bow down, they will fall down to the royal family, to the king. What they do, they made a lower door to the tent of Rustum itself. They made the door lower one, so when you go, you have to bend down and go to him. What did Rib'i do? He went inside with his bottom. He turned around and he goes backward, giving his bottom to the face of Rustum. Straight away, goes inside, walking around with his spear in his hand, walking around in all the silk carpet and all the fellows, waiting, just walking around, strolling. And the people are dying for the question. They wanted to tell him, stop. Rustum said, don't tell him stop. If you tell him stop, he will think that we are desperate. We are poor. He just pretended we don't care about it. And then through the interpreter, ask him, who brought you here? What brought you here? What is it you want? Subhanallah. And Rib'i says, Islam. His speech, wallahi, subhanallah. جئنا لنخرج العباد من عبادة العباد لعبادة رب العباد. We are here to free human from being slave to each other to be slave to the one who created them only. جئنا لنخرج الناس من ضيق الدنيا لسعة الدنيا والآخرة. We came to free people from the strictness of human and dunya and life desire into the vastness of akhirah. جئنا, and he keeps on giving him the reasons why we're here. So Rustum says to him, we used to leave your affairs to the villages, the border villages, to protect you and to take care of you. Now you're coming into our cities. Okay, maybe you're hungry, maybe you're poor, maybe just difficulty that brought you here. I'll give every one of you a dinar, and I will give your leader 1,000 dinar. Then you go. So Rib'i repeats exactly the same reason. We're not here for the money, we're here for Islam, we're here to free all those farmers, all those people that you enslave, all those people that you take their property. We are here to defend them and protect them. And you have the option. If you become Muslim, it's your country, you do whatever you want with it. We go home. If you don't, you pay us and we will protect you and we defend you. If you don't, there's no other option but the sword. He says, give me time to think. Give us time. This is a big deal. Can't just decide on the spot. He says to him, I'll give you a day or two. So Rustum says, I need to send messages to the capital, to the emperor, and they have to discuss. This will need weeks. He says, our Prophet ﷺ only allowed us to give 3 days maximum in the time of war. You have 3 days. And left him and walked off. Rustum was absolutely dumbfounded. He was absolutely amazed. How he never ever could have imagined that the Arab in the desert, the Bedouin have no culture, no civilization, no army, no government, can speak like this. He says to Rib'i before he leaves, he says, are you the leader? Are you the leader of this group? He says, no, I'm just a soldier. He says, how come you promised 3 days to stop a war? Only a leader can decide like this. He says, with the Muslim are one body. Any part of the body make a decision, the Amir will honor it. If I tell him I decided 3 days, it's a sunnah, he will honor it. Don't you worry. And he left him and gone back to Saʿd ibn Abī Waqqās. So the Persian now, they're getting angry. They're getting frustrated. They got the numbers. They got 240,000. And they said, okay, tomorrow's attack. Tomorrow we're going to attack. So when Saʿd ibn Abī Waqqās got the news, they're going to attack tomorrow, his plan was, we're going to attack after Dhuhr. We pray Dhuhr, and I will do 4 takbirat. Saʿd ibn Waqqās is saying, how you do takbirat with 40,000, 50,000? You have lines. You have lines with muazzin. The first one, Allahu Akbar, after 100 line, another one, Allahu Akbar, yeah? So that's how it reaches all the way to the end of the line. He says, number 1 takbir, this is for your needs. You need to have a drink, you need to put the drink away, something to eat. This is the time to get what you need quickly. Number 2 takbir, fix your armors and fix your next person's armor. You fix his weapon, you fix his helmet, you fix the, the protection for the body. And the 3rd takbir is a warming up one. You warm up, now you're gonna attack. And the 4th takbir, everybody will say La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah and attack. As Umar says, not many small wars, everybody attack. And subhanAllah, the Persian, as if they were watching something out of this world. They've never seen anything like it. They've never seen any discipline like it. They've never seen any unity like it before. And Saʿd ibn Abī Waqqās said, Allahu Akbar, and the whole army shake the whole ground, Allahu Akbar. This is the area is called al-Qadisiyah. The area is called al-Qadisiyah. Still a city in Iraq is called al-Qadisiyah today. On the eastern part of the Euphrates, on Iraq. And the first takbir, the second takbir, the third takbir, and the 4th takbir, and the Muslim attack. Massive attack on the Persian. But as I said in the message, for the Muslim, shock and horror and something they never seen in their life. They never seen in their life. Elephant. Massive giant elephant that were prepared for war, protected by armors, and they have cage on top of them, tied up with a belt, and inside the cage there is soldiers with massive long spears and sword to cut and hit anything that they can see. There's about 60, 70 of them. If the elephant is, this size of the room in a war. And when they run down, the horses, the camels were just terrified. The Muslim horses and camel. Terrified, running away everywhere. And it caused massive, massive chaos in the Muslim army. The elephant running on an area, which is the front of the Muslim, was a tribe called Banu Asad. And no matter how much you try to help, it's making a hole in the army. And this was the Persian plan. It's just to break the line of the Muslim army. Once you go inside with the numbers, you can surround them and finish them off. Saʿd ibn Abī Waqqās could see that, and he knew that. And he really screamed out and yelled to the commanders, forget anything. I want to target the elephant. Bring me any idea. I need the elephant out of the game. And there is a tribe, it's called Banu Tamīm. Banu Tamīm, they had a quick mashura and says, look, commandos, we're going to die and save the Muslim today. And save Banu Asad, because they're being attacked so hard, it's just, they're going to break at any minute. Hundreds of them are dying. Hundreds, literally, hundreds are dying. So Banu Tamīm had this idea of commandos. Commandos what? You're going to go under the elephant. you're going to go 2 or 3 men to go under the elephant to cut the belt that's tying the cage so it can fall off. And how you go near it? You can't go near it with all these people inside the cage. Snipers with arrows targeting those people inside the cage non-stop to distract them from those who go under the elephant. And this is the plan and how it works, subhanallah. Hundreds of them attack the elephant from behind, from the side, and the arrows raining inside that cage to distract the people inside it. And the Muslim cut that cage, it fall off, they killed all the people inside it, and the elephant now has no rider, no guide. They just jumping up and down, screaming everywhere, running, and this is how the Muslim saved the day. Al-Qadisiyah is 4 days. It's 4 days. So this was the first day. By sunset, they separate. It's dark, they can't see each other, they separate, the army separate. Second day after Fajr, all the way to Dhuhr time, what they do? They treat the injured, they bury the dead, they just fixing out the lines to have the fight again starting after Dhuhr. And they're still preparing, and all they can see and you can hear takbir coming from the desert. Al-Qa'qāʿ have arrived. Al-Qa'qāʿ ibn Amr al-Tamīmī have arrived with thousands of soldiers. When he arrived, he quickly met with Saʿd ibn Abī Waqqās. Saʿd ibn Abī Waqqās says, you will never believe what happened yesterday. What happened yesterday? The elephant. They're fighting us with elephant. They have elephant. The soldiers are saying to Al-Qa'qa, you know what Al-Qa'qa says? If they have elephant, we will have elephant too. We will have elephant too. They looked at them and says, what? Oh, you're going to make elephant? He says, yeah, I'm going to make some elephant for you. And he takes his soldiers and he gets the camels with all the long bamboo sticks. He built like a tent above the camels. Tie them up above the camel and put the tent above the camel. Cover the camel, only the eyes you can see. Big monster tent moving. And he got hundreds of them and got the army around them, protecting them, and just let them go down in the battlefield. Exactly what happened to the Muslim yesterday. Today, all the horses of the Persian running for their life. This is the creature. They don't know. Doesn't look like an elephant. It's just a moving mountain coming and attacking them. And the Muslim from behind it. And they had the greatest day of the field. This day, the second day of Al-Qadisiyah, the fighting went till midnight. Fighting didn't stop even in the dark. In the dark, all you can hear is metal banging. This is one of the biggest battle in the Muslim history. This is one of the biggest battle of the Muslim history. 2 days, it lasted for another 2 days. And it was the beginning for the end of the Persian Empire. Persian Empire is more than 1,000 years civilization. They have the most amazing civilization, most amazing building, most amazing technology for the time. And this Muslim only 10 years old. But they have Iman. They have trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they continued that day. And they had the most resounding victory. That Umar ibn Khattab radiyallahu anhu was waiting, every day to hear the news. Every day in Medina, going outside, anybody coming from the direction of Iraq to tell me what's happening to the Muslim Ummah, because there's no phone, there's no letters, there's nothing. Only information comes with somebody. And he goes out by himself, radiallahu anhu. And when the Muslim won, Saʿd ibn Abī Waqqās sent the messenger, sent somebody on a horse to go and tell Umar about the victory and about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala supporting the Muslim and what happened. So this man arrived at the border of Medina, and Umar saw him. He says, you're coming from which direction? From Iraq? He says, yeah. How is the Muslim? He says, alhamdulillah, you're good. And the man is not stopping, he's just riding. And Umar is running on his feet. And then what? And the Muslim won, alhamdulillah. And then what? The second day, the camp, horses, elephant. And he's telling him, while not looking at him, he's just riding to go back to Medina. When he went inside Medina and the people say, Assalamu alaikum Amir al-Mu'mineen, Assalamu alaikum Amir al-Mu'mineen, the man was so embarrassed. He didn't know that this is Umar ibn al-Khattab. He thought that just somebody is asking about the results. So he was so embarrassed. He says, why don't you tell me that you are Amir al-Mu'mineen? Subhanallah. He says, no. I just need to hear from you the news from the Muslim. And he made sujood, shukran. He was so happy, radiallahu anhu, for the result that the Muslim have won one of the biggest battles in the Muslim history. In about few more months, the Muslim will pray. Saʿd ibn Abī Waqqās will pray inside the palace of Yazjadar, inside the palace of the capital of the Persian Empire. This will be the story, inshallah, of the next time. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us like those Muslims in our iman, in our bravery, in our knowledge. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to gather us with this Sahaba in Jannah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to gather us with Umar ibn al-Khattab and al-Qa'qāዕ in the best place in Jannah. ناخذ دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وجزاكم الله خيرا.